You were born to do the work of a human being, not to stay under the covers forever. Marcus Aurelius wrote with certainty in Meditations, and he was absolutely right. We're here to act, to fully embrace our role in life, not to delay, not to hide. A day filled with energy starts with action, not empty promises that fade away. This is exactly how Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, survived brutal challenges like plagues and wars. He didn't just endure hardship, he turned it into strength, forging his will into something unshakable, as strong as steel. This isn't some vague or distant philosophy. It's a real, practical tool that can help you break through every limit in your own life. I truly believe that Marcus Aurelius is one of the most fascinating figures to have ever lived. We often hear that absolute power corrupts absolutely, but Marcus was the exception. Born in 121 AD in Rome, he wasn't of royal blood. He was chosen at a young age. Interestingly, the same age as the infamous Nero when he began his training for power. But when Marcus became emperor in 161 AD, he didn't cling to power for himself. The very first thing he did was share it with his adoptive brother, Lucius Verus, a rare act of humility and virtue. He ruled until 180 AD, guiding the empire through the devastating Antonine Plague, a catastrophe that claimed millions of lives, and through relentless wars on the empire's borders. Through it all, Marcus remained true to his Stoic principles, recording his deep reflections in Meditations, a timeless masterpiece of wisdom. In this video, I want to share some of the most powerful lessons I've learned from Marcus Aurelius, lessons that have truly changed the way I see life. If you're curious about how he turned obstacles into opportunities, how he found meaning in the midst of chaos, then I believe the next few minutes will be well worth your time. Let's dive in and explore together. Lesson 1. Take it step by step. You could be good today. Instead, you choose tomorrow. Marcus Aurelius said in Meditations, "We often put off the important things in life, waiting for the perfect moment, a special day to start, as if it will somehow be easier then." But Marcus makes it clear, that moment will never come unless you take action now. He also reminds us, do every act of your life as if it were your last. It's a powerful call to appreciate each moment and make the most of it. We already know what we need to do. We have all the information. The problem isn't knowing, it's doing, yet we keep delaying. We tell ourselves, I'll start writing that book I've always dreamed of. I'll finally clean my room. I'll learn to play the guitar. But not today, tomorrow. We know what we need to do, but the problem is, we don't do it. We don't take action. And if we don't take action, how can we expect results? Imagine if everyone just thought about what needed to be done, made plans, set goals, but never actually followed through. Could we survive? Could the world even function? That's why the Stoics emphasize discipline in action. This is a core principle of Stoicism. True discipline starts with the smallest steps, not with grand, distant plans. In the end, it all comes down to action. Not what you say, not what you think, but what you do. So, what action will you take? What step will you take? The only way to get anything done is simple, step by step. But first, you have to start. Marcus Aurelius said, "No one can stop you from that." Think about it. You dream of learning a new language, but 1,000 words feel overwhelming. Don't let that stop you. Just learn 5 words today, only 5, and you'll see the difference. I once hesitated to learn guitar because I thought it would take months to get good. But when I started with just 10 minutes of finger exercises a day, within weeks, I could play a simple song. A friend of mine wanted to lose weight, but instead of aiming to drop 10 kilograms all at once, she chose to walk for 15 minutes a day. Now she feels completely confident in her new body. That's the real power of small steps. They don't just open the path forward, they build lasting habits. Marcus taught us that the first step isn't just the beginning, it's the solid foundation that takes you further. So what step will you take today? Don't wait, act now. There's no more time to hesitate. Lesson 2. Well begun is half done. Marcus Aurelius had a better morning routine than you. I'm absolutely sure of it. He woke up early, even when he didn't want to. Even though, as the most powerful emperor, he didn't have to. but he forced himself to do it because he understood the value of every moment. He wrote in Meditations, "Were you born to lie in bed, to stay warm under the covers? Or were you born to do the work of a human being?" Exactly. He got up, stepped out of bed, and started his day by journaling, writing the private thoughts we now know as meditations, because they helped him become a better version of himself. Then he focused on his most important task, working with the discipline of a true Roman with full dedication, as if it were the last thing he would ever do. This is a core principle of Stoicism. A strong morning sets the foundation for conquering the entire day. Try this. Instead of staying curled up under the covers for an extra 10 minutes, get up and spend just 5 minutes planning your day. Set your work schedule, jot down a few creative ideas, or do some quick stretches. A young guy I know starts his day with 15 minutes of yoga. He says it clears his mind and makes the rest of his day flow more smoothly. My 68-year-old neighbor begins his morning with a 30-minute walk. He smiles and says it's how he stays healthy and connected to nature. Marcus taught that a good morning doesn't happen by chance. It's a conscious choice. He knew that well begun is half done. So how will you start your day today to take control of it? Take action. Don't let time slip away. Lesson 3. Ask yourself, is this essential? We're all busy. I know you are too. But how many of the things we do actually matter? Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Ask yourself with everything you do and say, is this essential?" Most of what we do comes from pressure, because someone asks us to, because someone says we should, or simply because that's how we've always done it. But Marcus Aurelius teaches us that just because we do something doesn't mean it's important. He asks a powerful question. If you knew tomorrow was your last day, would you still do these things? And would you do them this way? The answer is almost always no. This is a core principle of Stoicism. When you question what's truly essential, you cut out the meaningless, creating space for what actually matters. Think about it. Are you spending your entire evening replying to unimportant emails or watching videos you don't really need to see? Stop for a moment. Instead, use that time for something meaningful, like writing a handwritten letter to a loved one or planning your big dream. I used to constantly check my phone, always busy but never truly productive. But when I decided to spend just 20 minutes a day learning a new skill, my life changed. I felt more fulfilled than ever. I once met a young guy on the bus who gave up late-night gaming and replaced it with 15 minutes of morning exercise. He told me his health improved dramatically. Marcus teaches us that when you eliminate the non-essential, you get a double benefit. Not only do you do fewer things, but you do everything better and more efficiently. So before doing anything, ask yourself, is this truly essential? Do I really need to do this? Am I doing it in the best way possible? What is the most essential thing? Now put this into practice. Don't let your time go to waste. Lesson 4, discard your anxiety. It takes deep self-awareness to recognize, I'm feeling anxious about this, or I'm uneasy about that. We often believe anxiety comes from external circumstances, our job, family, or outside pressures, and we assume that this anxiety is justified. But Marcus, living through the devastating Antonine Plague, realized that anxiety doesn't actually come from those things. It comes from how we perceive them. He wrote about this in Meditations, saying, I have escaped anxiety. But then he corrected himself. No, actually, I have discarded it. I've been through the same thing. When everything slowed down, no more rushing through schedules, no more traffic, no more endless meetings, I thought my anxiety would disappear. But it didn't. It was still there. And then I realized, just like Marcus did, that anxiety doesn't come from external circumstances. It comes from within me. Think about it. Are you anxious about an upcoming presentation? Don't let it overwhelm you. Prepare thoroughly and the anxiety will fade away. I used to worry about losing my job, but instead of drowning in fear, I focused on learning new skills. And that uncertainty disappeared completely. A young man I met at the park told me that when he stopped stressing over grades and started learning for the love of it, he actually performed better than ever. So isn't it clear? Anxiety doesn't come from external circumstances. It comes from within you. And when you take action to improve things, when you eliminate the causes of failure, you'll see that anxiety no longer has a place in your life. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "I do not run away from anxiety, I discard it, because it is within me." He teaches us that when you let go of anxiety, you don't just live with more ease, you live in alignment with your true self. So what anxiety will you choose to let go of today? Try it and you'll realize the problem was never out there. It was always within you. Lesson 5, be strict with yourself. Self-discipline is your responsibility. No one else is going to do it for you. You chose this path and it's up to you to stay on it. Marcus Aurelius made this crystal clear in Meditations. Be tolerant with others, but strict with yourself. This isn't about judging or controlling others. It's about becoming a better master of yourself. Marcus taught that the purpose of this strictness isn't to be arrogant or imposing. He said, just focus on improving yourself. Leave other people's mistakes and ways to them. This is a core principle of Stoicism. Self-discipline is the only way to strengthen your will and live a meaningful life. Try applying this yourself. Instead of ignoring bad habits, challenge yourself. I once gave up coffee for 30 days, even though it felt almost impossible at first. But in the end, my health improved noticeably, and I didn't need anyone else to follow my path. A young man I met at the library decided to wake up early every day to study a new language. He told me it made him more confident, gave him an advantage, and he didn't care what others were doing. Marcus teaches that when you are strict with yourself, you don't just improve. You become an example without forcing anyone to follow. So what challenge will you set for yourself today? Start now. There's no time to wait. Lesson 6. Another path is always open. You are not stuck. I know it may feel that way, but Marcus Aurelius wants you to realize a simple truth. When one path is blocked, another is always open. In Meditations, he wrote, "The obstacle in the way becomes the way." Stoicism doesn't say that nothing will stand in your way. Marcus makes it clear that when one option is blocked, others still exist. He states, "We don't control what happens, but we do control how we respond." This is the core of Stoicism. You always have the opportunity to practice virtue, patience, and change, no matter who stands in your way or how challenging the circumstances are. No one can stop you from adapting, learning, and turning obstacles into new opportunities. Think about it. Are you feeling discouraged by a failure, like losing an important contract? Don't stop. Be patient, look for new partners, or sharpen your skills like public speaking to become even more persuasive and open new doors. I once got rejected from my dream job, but instead of giving up, I learned coding online. And now I have a career I truly love. A 13-year-old girl was laughed at when she shared her original song, but she kept refining it, and now her whole class loves it. A 71-year-old man was told by his children that he couldn't travel anymore, so he adapted by painting the places he dreamed of visiting. He told me his soul feels richer than ever. Marcus taught that no one can stop you from practicing virtue or finding a new path, because the obstacle is the way. So today, what challenge will you turn into an opportunity? Try it, and you'll realize that when one door closes, another one is always waiting to open. Lesson 7. Don't resent people. Marcus Aurelius didn't always see people in the best light. You only need to flip through Meditations to notice that. He starts by expressing frustration, even irritation, at the foolishness of others. But then, like a gust of wind sweeping through the desert, he transforms that perspective into wisdom. The obstacle is the way, he writes in Meditations. To Marcus, those who stand in your way, the difficult people, the ones who test your patience, aren't burdens. They're opportunities to live your philosophy. He teaches that in the face of injustice, practice fairness. In the midst of chaos, remain calm. When cowardice is rewarded, have the courage to do what's right. This is the essence of Stoicism, turning every difficult interaction into a forge for your soul. Imagine this. Your boss is storming through the office, snapping at everyone, and you feel the frustration rising inside you. Don't let resentment drag you down. Smile, respond with patience, and you'll both feel lighter. I once had a coworker who constantly criticized me. Instead of arguing, I chose to listen. Now we work together better than ever. A neighbor of mine used to get annoyed by the loud music from the younger folks next door. Instead of complaining, he started sharing stories with them. He says it made his soul feel lighter. Marcus teaches that every difficult person is like a fire. Don't let it burn you, use it to forge yourself. So who will you turn into an opportunity for growth today? Try it out. Don't resent people. Use them as fuel to become better. Don't let resentment hold you back. Lesson 8. Remember these mantras. Marcus Aurelius left behind 3 powerful mantras to shape your life, and they can completely change the way you see the world. First, amor fati, love your fate. Marcus wrote in Meditations, everything that happens is not against you, but for you, to shape you, just like a fire turns everything into light and strength. If you lose a large sum of money, don't dwell on frustration. Instead, find joy in simplifying your life. That's how you accept challenges and turn them into fuel for growth. Second, live for others. Marcus taught, the fruit of life is good character and actions that serve the common good, not fame or wealth. Ask yourself, are you contributing to your community? Are you helping to elevate humanity? Third, memento mori. Remember, you could leave life at any moment. Marcus stated, let the awareness of life's fragility shape your thoughts, words, and actions, as if today were your last. Put it into practice. A young man lost his job, but instead of despairing, he volunteered to teach kids how to read, and now he's found a new sense of purpose. A 73-year-old man, after recovering from illness, started planting trees in his neighborhood every day. He smiles and says he feels more alive than ever. Marcus taught that these 3 mantras aren't just words. They are guiding principles for living meaningfully in a fragile world. So today, which mantra will you choose to apply? Start now. You'll find meaning in the process. Today, I've shared the lessons from Meditations by Marcus Aurelius that truly resonate with me. What about you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and follow the channel so we can keep exploring the timeless principles of Stoicism together. Thanks for listening.